Hello everyone, I am Nu-Trix and today we're going to talk about VS, Virtual Synthesizer from Imaginendo. I heard about this about 2 months ago. Imaginendo actually reached out to me and said, would you like to try it? Because I was like, yeah, I'm a synth guy, but I always been looking into having some visual reaction or real-time videos interact with music. So I was really interested in seeing how it worked. And I didn't have the time at that point. I was just busy with life. I have been on vacation and I took the time to actually look into VS software. It's pretty cool what you can do. Still, I had some trouble getting to do what I wanted. And I think that's something that happens a lot when we imagine what we can do with something and it doesn't do what we thought it was going to do, or it wasn't doing it the way we dreamed it would do it, you know? What I'm saying is that VS is a really cool software for video synthesis, but at the same time, I dreams of so much more. And I'll explain what I wish it had, and maybe Imaginendo will pick some of it up and use it in another version later on. I'll explain 3 things today. How I tried to get into using it and the problems I got. It's not about the VS software itself. The problems are mostly about how other software works with it. So it's kind of interesting. At the same time, the requirements for it, because it's a video multi-layer software. So it takes a lot of CPU and power on your computer. So might be issues. And I'll explain where I got problems and how I got to actually doing it the way I want. And I'll show you how I patched and prepared all of it. And I'll play the video. Because basically I started with a song that I had. It's a song that I still have to mix, but mostly the song is ready. So I was interested here. I wanted to do a video triggered by MIDI. And the big picture in the VS software is that you either can trigger by audio or by MIDI. And it took me a while to understand how many triggers do you have, which one are general for everybody. It's like you don't have multiple inputs, which is fine, but you have 8 different layers. And if every layer would have a different audio input, then you would have 8 different ways to interact with sounds coming out of 8 different tracks of your multi-tracking DAW, you know? So that was kind of one of the things I wanted to have, is to say, well, I can have on track number 1, my drum, my kick, my snare, on track number 2, and these would trigger audio-wise 2 different video effects or whatever it is. So finally I did not do that because the way I used it was obvious. I had to go through just a stereo mix that I would actually use. So I'm still going to go back with another video where I actually use the audio, because it's possible to trigger reaction using a slice of frequencies. So you could say, well, that's the snare, that's the kick, that's the hi-hat, and when these frequency changes are being triggered, that's when you trigger a different part of the sound or the video. So I'll go back to an audio only or audio triggering with this, but right now the one I did is using MIDI. So first thing I tried, I ran a song in ZenBeats and I loaded the VS plugin in it, and it was running inside ZenBeats, and I would send MIDI to it. I tried with ZenBeats, I tried with Cubasis, and I always had problem, the 2 of them, different problems. I wanted to be able to send MIDI, I wanted to send audio. Either the MIDI was not able to appear in it because it wasn't like an instrument, or it would send MIDI but only from one channel. Every time I would send another channel, it would stop sending the first channel. So I was not able to have 8 different controllers from 8 different channels to control 8 different layers of video. So at one point I just stopped that and I said, well, I'm going to use Gadget because I've got songs and gadgets ready to finish and to mix. And then it's not a plugin, it's a standalone. So I opened the VS and I opened Gadget and I send MIDI out of Gadget into VS and it worked. So I basically was not using it as a plugin inside anything. It was just two software running side by side, and the MIDI was going completely without any problem, and I was able to send 8 different channels to 8 different layers, which was not the case when I used it as a plugin. So I don't know if it's a limit of the iOS, I don't know if it's a limit of the software themselves. I don't know the version on Mac because I don't have the Mac version, I only have the iPad version. And by the way, I'm running on an M1 Pro from the iPad, so it might also be some of the code of the M1 if the plugins are not fully updated. I don't know, and even with Gadget I had problems because when the whole thing was finished and wanted to record, if I pressed play on Gadget, it started the video on the VS, and when I went into VS and recorded the image because I wanted to have the live video to be kind of a video clip if you want. The problem I had at that point is actually it went to about a minute and it stopped recording. The software just closed, and I had that over and over and over. So in the end, I basically took a cable that I have here, which is a USB-C to HDMI, and I plugged the output of my iPad straight into my video capture card that I use right now to record this video. And I was able to record it at that point. And then later on I said, well, why don't I also use the actual screen capture? Because I can do screen capture with the iPad. And I was able to do it. So it's not just the CPU of running everything at the same time, because I was able to record using the iPad screen capture. So there was a problem somewhere. So I got to a lot of little problems before I was able to do the video I did. Actually, let's just watch it right away. You'll see what I'm talking about. So how I did that, I'll show you that. I'll just show you how I approached this. So I have Gadget running, and the tracks I wanted to trigger, I just duplicate them. So I went into function, I said duplicate, and the new one, it's the same track, like type A, this one here, it's the same drum. The drum 2 is copied to duplicate to drum 3, and then I change it to have the type A MIDI output. And then I have to open VS, And if I go back to see MIDI, it sees my hardware, Gadget. So I've got my Gadget. That's what I want. Gadget in and Gadget out. So it works. I switch back to Gadget. And now if I go here, I'm going to say, well, I want to send to VS. Okay, it's going to be on channel 10. Perfect. This one is going to be also on VS. I'm sending to this other, and it's already channel 9. So what I did, I took all of these tracks that I wanted to trigger something. Keep in mind that the way VS reacts to MIDI is less than I wish I had. I wanted to have notes, and that even the value of the note would change something. For example, if I go high on the pitch, I would have, I don't know, I could control the brightness, for example, or the color. You know, it would be a value like an LFO or an envelope controlling one part of the image. Or if I had a filter control, the control message, if I could send it to depth or size and have this change in the graphic. So, but this is not there yet. I'm saying yet because there's been, I don't know, 3 different updates in the last month. So they're really active in bringing this thing higher and further. So my wish list would be to have, at least on every layer, a note control, or at least minimum is 1 MIDI control that you can assign to pitch bend, to modulation wheel, to the key values, to a controller like volume, you know, traditional ones. This would be just a big, huge plus for that, because then it would actually respond to what you're playing. Right now, it responds to the fact that there's note there and it triggers the image. But there's already like LFOs in it, and so I'll show you. I'm just going to finish selecting the VS here. You can see that I've got messages triggering on channel 10, 9, 12, 6, 7, 14, 3, and 4. I've got 8 different MIDI messages going from Gadget to VS. So I'm going to go to the VS right away. And if I'm going to go back here, I'm going to just play this thing here. I'm going to play this. And what I'll do is, while this is playing, I'm going to loop this just to show you what I have. I'll go back to the next one. So right now I'm triggering 2 layers. Triggering this one. If I put it solo, that's the one I'm triggering. If I bring this up, I've got the information at the bottom. So how does this one works? You have the line of information. I mean, what you have here at the middle, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and B. B is the background. And the 1 to 8 are the layers you trigger. And they're videos, but also they're stuff you can change on them. Like, and they change. When you double tap on it, you can load a different one. And the controls you have on them are different. So sometimes there's one like a shape. Well, you can control the shape, you know. So depending on the one you load, you have different controls that appears here, where you have radius, glow, unavailable, non-available. So these can change. So in this case, I can change the glow, you know, the radius, of course, brightness, and alpha and speed. They're mostly there. Speed depends in this case because this one is now triggered. And here at the right, you've got trigger, and it triggers by the channel that you can control here, channel 10. So you get that trigger of that screen. Now, how long this is going to take? You've got the attack and release. See, you can have this longer if you want. That's pretty cool, pretty nice. And we got these 4 LFOs here and 4 different ways that the sound can trigger a spectrum or a gate. We got a threshold where we're gonna have it, and a gain. I'll come back, I'll do another video just for that because I think this is also really powerful. But in this case, I was not using it. I was really aiming at using MIDI to make it work. So that's the first one. If I unsolo this one, I also have the other one, this 5, number 5. See, this is very low at the bottom. If I bring the release up, it means that it triggers that video and it stays while the other ones are playing. You can actually trigger 4 video at the same time, 4 layers, 4 voices, 4 notes if you want, but they're images. So that's why you see that it starts spinning. If I put the release very short, you're just going to start and stop right away because the other one will play. But if I take it longer, you have this. It seems that this affects all layers at the same time. So if I turn that back on, so I've got the bass that triggers these little light that turns, and I've got the kick, not just the kick, the whole electronic drum that triggers the circle. And what's at the back, the square, is part of the demo. You have different background you can use. That's a cool one that I wanted to have. So I'm gonna add in the square later on by overlay and video, Nu-Trix, or the name of the song, whatever it is. I'm gonna put stuff in that little square later on with advanced video montage. You can click on this little button here to have the full screen. It's right on the right here, and you can press on the red for recording, of course, and that's where it crashes for me after, I don't know, a minute or so. And you can actually just close this part at the bottom if you don't want to see it. But that's the LFO. Now, if you want to see where these LFOs and envelopes are going, there's the, I would say, little faders on the side here. You click on it and you've got the list of everything. Of course, if you look at the top, it's a matrix. You've got LFO 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, envelope generator 1 and 2, AM 1, 2, 3, 4, and keyboard and velocity. So, maybe keyboard can work. It does. Oh, thank you. I just found that. This is so cool. It changes the notes. So depending on the notes, you see the color changing. Oh, this is so great. I love this. So they have it. And there's velocity also. So there's, here you go. This is what I wanted. They have it. You have U, saturation, brightness, and alpha. So this is really graphic stuff, video stuff. If you tap on the orange line on top of them, second one, you get speed, counter, XY, so the position of it, and radius, velocity, X, velocity, Y, and glow. So all of this can be So I'm going to stop that for now. Now let's actually go back to the song and see the other one. So this is for these two. Then I add, I'm going to go with this one. So this one is this. It's this one. So basically it's a video like this. You see it here. But what you do after that, you can change the speed, the zoom, the alpha, and the colors. And well, I want it to have to be yellow, whatever it is. So I set it, I want it to be dark blue. And I want to be able to see through it. So the alpha, I have to play with it until I found what I liked. And you can have it bright or darker. So I want it to be darker. So this is only triggered. So now if I try this one, what's going to be changing for saturation? If I do this, interesting. You actually play now the keys, or do I play with this? I'll play with alpha. You double tap, it goes back to 0. So this is actually pretty cool. Oh, if I go back to this one instead. No, too Christmassy. Like saturation. Like this, the other way around. So I'll keep that. So now I've got the notes also triggering some part of the color changing in it. Which is really cool. Okay, so next one. I go here. Next one is I'm adding the drum. Is that it? There we go. This drum here. So this one is number 4. It's this one here. So this one is, where is it? It's this one. No, it's this one. Unspinning. And you modify it a bit. You've got some control of the speed, the shape, the spin, the zoom, the size, the focus. And again, you can. I like it. I find it goes with this kick, and I wanted to have it red, so it goes against the blue. The other lines going across, this is number 8. It's this one here. So this one, what you can do. Again, this is on channel with the notes. Actually, can I change now? I could actually change this now. Well, this is nice. Not too much though. Because already, okay, so I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go back to the LFO because there's an LFO here doing the same job and it's too much. And I don't want it to change too much. I'm going to change a little bit. So I'm going to go back and say, well, this is going to be red, or this is going to be. So I want it to be changing a little bit, but I want it to stay in the same color. So this is better. Okay. So if I turn solo off, okay, and if I go see the next one is this thing here. Got same logic on the other side, but if I took, so this one here, but solo, I've got this one here. This one, if I double tap, you see that this one is another one. It's a single line. It's this one. Instead of being 3 lines, it's just 1 line. Okay. And I changed I did the rotation, so I have it on the other side. And that's it. This is ready to play. And I triggered. Now, again, it means that this one, if I send some keyboard, see, it goes to yellow when it goes down the keys. This is perfect. Okay. And I solo out this thing. Okay, so this is happening. What I did after that, I've got this this one is this one, I think. Is it? No, it's not this one. It's this one. No, it's number 6. So this is just being triggered by the extra drum kits and noisy snare happening. I just wanted to have a small overlay to say, oh, this is different now. There's something happening that is not there anywhere else in the song. And go back to this one, which is go back to the minimum. Go ahead, do this. Sometimes I've got this thing that stays playing. I need to trigger this out. So there's some MIDI issue somewhere sometimes that just like stays there. It's like it doesn't receive a note off or something. which is possible because I've been moving between software all the time, so it might not be the best way, but it works. Then I had this thing here. I've got this one. It could be anything else, but I wanted to have something that just goes over the rest of it. And again, if I double tap and I say, well, I'm going to use this one instead, I already have stuff like that. Interesting. See, I'm on the right channel, so it plays when I play. Return with everything else. That could be even better than the one I had. If I go back here. I think that's going to be my new version. I prefer that because the red and blue are nicer. So this is it. This is how I approach it. I went one at a time and solo it, try to figure out ways, and then I'm just happy that by explaining to you guys, I found the keyboard. So now I'm going to do another video probably where I'm going to use the keyboard and the velocity for some of it, and I'm going to use audio because you can actually have 4 different slices of gates, spectrum gates if you want, frequencies slices where you control different part of the image triggered by these things. So it's really interesting to see where you can go with that. And I'm curious what I could do with just a, kind of a drum kit, the whole drum kit sent to this, because I could separate kick, snare, hi-hat, whatever it is, and have these trigger different things, and maybe a lead trigger the notes with the video on top. So and you can actually load your own video at the back. So your background could also be your stuff playing and this playing on top of it. So one project I have right now is using this to do my intro, my new version of the YouTube Nu-Trix, the synth guy intro. So I'm playing with ideas how I'm going to do that. The song is already ready. It's more about the image. How can I fill it so it tells everybody what I'm doing when you get to the video and you know what it is. But I want to use this because I think it's the best way to do it using an iPad, because the iPad is part of my YouTube journey. That's it. It's just, I wish I had a little bit more in it, but every time I use it, I found new stuff like the keyboard and velocity. I didn't notice it before, so now it's going to be really interesting. And there's still this thing that I don't understand how and why it doesn't really work the way I wanted it, and I'm gonna go deeper in it to understand why it doesn't work the way I wanted it with Cubasis and Zen Beats. Maybe I'll get more information, but right now the way it works the easiest for me is as a standalone and not as a plugin. So maybe it would be different. At the same time, it's very demanding CPU-wise. So another way would be to actually load my song into my computer and use my computer to send MIDI using my MIDI interface right into this and just use this as a video synthesizer. And it will work, and it will work well. So it could be the other way. That's it. Stay safe, make more music. Cheers, guys.